Thank you. Yes. Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pet Pawcast. I'm your host, Roberta Westbrook, and I'm here at the Campus for All Animals, the Houston SPCA, and we have lots of great information for you. What an exciting time of year. We are in the holiday spirit. We've got family and friends coming over, and you may be thinking about bringing a new pet into your home. So as you're getting your home all decorated and you're thinking about toys and decorations and how to make your home more festive for the holiday season, we want you to consider pets that may be in your family as well and how to keep them safe and comfortable and happy, and even include them in all of the excitement for the season. So please don't hesitate to come on down to our campus. There's no appointment necessary. You can take a look at all the pets that we have up for adoption: dogs, cats, puppies, kittens. Come on down, make a day of it, bring your family and friends, and think about bringing a new pet into your home. If you have any questions about safety related to your pets this holiday season, please think of those questions, post them in our chat, and I'll do my best to give you some answers for that. So we're going to have some good information for you. Before we get started on that, I always like to show you some of the wonderful pets that we have available for adoption. And I want to reintroduce this little girl to you. This is Julie. Julie is so sweet. Julie came to us from our ambulance service. Julie came to us with severe hair loss. She was almost completely bald. She did not have any fur on her body, or very, very little fur. And Julie was treated for a non-contagious type of mange. So she had mange, and it can be very uncomfortable for pets, and it can take them months to get better. Julie is one of those patients that we were able to nurse back to health. She's got a completely full, beautiful coat. We had a wonderful foster family who was able to take her in and get her healthy and well. And so now she's ready for her forever home. She's a very sweet dog. She's shy, and she needs someone who is willing to just be a couch potato with her. She's a very, very sweet dog.
And she's also a Texan.
She is also sponsored by the Houston Texans punter, Cam Johnston. Thank you so much to Cam and his wife, Tia, for sponsoring Julie and her adoption fee. So again, she just needs someone to fall in love with her, to come visit her, and she is ready to go for you. She's all ready to be Santa's little helper with her little collar on. So come on down, and we'll start by talking about things that we want to make you aware of for pet safety this holiday season. You know, one of the funnest times that some families have is putting up a beautiful Christmas tree during the holiday season. And you've got things on the Christmas tree that are special to you, that make it look beautiful, but sometimes can create hazards for your pets. So not only can the decorations be hazard, but the tree itself can. if you have a real live tree in your home, please remember that sometimes when pets like to chew on things, they may chew on the needles of the tree. And those sharp needles can not only be a choking hazard, but they can cause foreign bodies and they can cause injury to the gastrointestinal tract. So make sure that you keep your pets away from chewing on the tree if possible. If that means that you need to, put a little, cute little blockade around it so your pets can't get directly to it. You've probably seen some of those memes on social media where people have their trees encased in a wire cage because they don't want their cat or dog to get to it. So you may have to do that, but make sure one thing you may consider is getting a tree that has very pliable needles, ones that are not sharp, like a Douglas fir. Those have a little bit more pliable needles and maybe less sharp and less likely to cause a sharp injury to your pet's gastrointestinal tract. When we also take a look at the tree, some of these ornaments have hooks on them. They're sharp edge and they hook on the limbs of the tree. Cats love those. Cats are going to love to play with the balls on the tree and the lights. And we don't want those hooks to be, caught in the tongue, in the mouth, or somewhere further down into the gastrointestinal tract. So those are already just a few hazards that we have related to the tree. As we move down the tree, what about, if you have a real tree, what about the water? What about the bowl of water that your tree sits in? If you're putting additives in that water, if you've got chemicals or bleach that are in that water, don't let your pets drink that water. They may crawl under there thinking, oh, this is just another water source. How nice of my family to give me another water source. And we don't want them to do that. So protect your tree. Make sure there's a skirt around that water pan so that pets cannot easily get to that water. So those are just some things to think about and things to start off with tree safety. Get a tree that maybe is fake or that has pliable needles. Be careful of the ornaments with sharp hooks and protect the water source. Do you have any other questions I can help you with today?
What about flocked trees?
Yeah, so those are the trees. Do you mean the ones that have like the
fake snow?
The fake snow on them. The same thing. Sometimes that can attract pets to those trees. And so we don't want any sort of foreign material that they can ingest and potentially be a toxin. So again, protecting the tree, if that means that you've got to put a barrier around it, maybe put a barrier around it, but we certainly don't want them to ingest anything that's not actually a food source.
So Emily wants to know, what's the best way to know what exactly your pet is attracted to or will get into when you just adopt them or they haven't been in your home very long?
I wish there were a perfect answer to that. We don't always know what's going to be an attraction to the pets when they're new to us. And when they're new to excitement like decorations for Christmas, we may not know ahead of time. So what I would recommend is, if you're bringing a new pet into your home for the holidays, thank you so much. And make sure that they are never unsupervised. So stay with them. Hang out in the living room with them around the tree. See how they react to it. Are they scared of it? Are they interested in it? Are they trying to bat the ornaments around? Or is it just not a big deal to them? And so you can kind of learn how they're going to react to those new and novel experiences just by hanging out with them. Spend a lot of time with them, and you can make decisions based on that.
So Carol wants to know, she plans on celebrating Christmas with family and friends, but her dog is not big on people, but she wants to include her dog. She doesn't want to put her dog in the bathroom while everybody is like around the tree.
Yes, you want to include your dog. And so there has to be a balance because, if your dog is not, used to being around people or prefers not to be around strangers, we also want your dog to feel very comfortable. So maybe figure out, is my dog most comfortable in a private, quiet area like a crate or a guest room where he or she can relax away from the noise, or are they okay being around people as long as people do not approach them? So what you could do is, if your pet is going to be okay to be out in your home with guests, you can notify your guests and you can say, notify them before they come. we're happy to have you in our home. We do have a pet that prefers not to interact with strangers. And in order to keep everybody safe, we ask that you just observe and interact from a distance. You can suggest something like that. But if you know that your pet would actually be happier if they were kind of away from the quiet or from the noise, somewhere quiet, you can use that as an option as well.
So Kristen wants to know your thoughts on those pre-packaged holiday treats. Can they be bad for your dog?
So the pre-packaged holiday treats, I think it depends on the ingredients. So most of them are probably fine. If they're using natural ingredients, human grade ingredients, as long as they're, most treats are fairly healthy, I would be careful about picking the appropriate sized treat for your pets. One very common treat that people like to purchase for their pets are those large bones. It's very cute, right? You like to get those large bones that have a bow on them, and it might be a small little dog with a very large bone. You want to make sure that if you're buying that sort of treat for your pet, that he or she cannot bite off the ends or large chunks of that toy or that treat and get them lodged in their throat or in their gastrointestinal tract. So make sure it is size appropriate, and obviously, please watch them while they're chewing on that treat, because sometimes dogs are quick. They see a bone and they just, chomp into it, and the whole end of it comes off and it's too late. So try to make sure that you are watching them as they're eating those new treats that they may never have had before.
So we got a question from Joe. She says that her dog is terrified of their outdoor decorations. So it's becoming a problem walking out the door to go for a walk. Is there something that she can do, or should she just take them down?
Wow, that is very interesting, but it brings up a good point. There's so many new things that your pet may have never seen before, and how are they going to handle being around that? So I think it depends on how severe that fear is. If they can be gently coaxed to walk past them, your energy is important too. So as you're walking past, make sure you have nice, calm energy and that you walk confidently, and hopefully your pet will feed off of your confidence and walk right past those decorations with some positive reinforcement, like maybe a treat to encourage them to walk past. If it becomes a problem such that your pet is panicking and pulling back on the leash and starting to display some stressful behavior, then you may consider a couple of things. Taking a different route. Can you go through the backyard and out the side door and come in that way so they don't have to walk around the scary decorations? Or should you minimize the decorations? And I would say read your pet and determine whether this is something that you're just going to have to do away with altogether, or with a little bit of gentle coaxing and confidence and calm energy, if you can get them over that kind of hump there.
Melissa wants to include her pet with the family Christmas Day meal. What kind of food should she include if she did something separate for her pet?
Oh, yes. You can always include your pet in holiday meals and maybe give them something that they're not always used to having. You just want to make sure that you fix something for your pet that's not high in fat. So as we've talked about in the past around other holidays and Thanksgiving, your pet's gastrointestinal tract can be very sensitive to sudden changes in the content. So make sure that you are feeding foods that don't have high fat content or oil, or that have toxic substances in them, like garlic or onion, dark chocolate, the treats that they're going to be exposed to. And so you can have a little side plate for them, or put in their bowl things like pumpkin or sweet potatoes or green beans, or chicken and turkey with no seasoning and no skin. Those are healthy and treats that are not going to be dangerous for your pet's gastrointestinal tract.
Kristen would like to know, how can she go about getting a holiday costume for her cat? Do cats like to wear costumes like some dogs?
I think some cats do not mind wearing costumes. How do you go about finding a holiday costume for your cat? Good luck, and hopefully you make it through to see the new year, trying to get your cat in a holiday costume. Some of them are fine. Some of them are completely fine. And so purchase a costume Maybe it's just going to be a little set of reindeer ears. Maybe it's going to be like we have Julie here in a little bell collar. That's like a Santa's helper, something simple. If you notice that your cat, again, is kind of frozen, doesn't want to move, is trying desperately to get out of it, I would say limit the time in that costume. But if they seem to not mind at all, go right ahead, take all those holiday pictures that you want, and it's perfectly fine. But you're just going to have to do trial and error. Purchase a few small items, see how your pet does with it, and then make the decision from there.
Stacy is asking about poinsettias. Are they poisonous?
Yes, poinsettia is a very, very common holiday plant. They certainly can cause some illness in your pet if they are chewing on those leaves and those flowers. So it can definitely cause vomiting, diarrhea, and irritation to the oral cavity. So like most plants, you really want to just protect your pet from ingesting those. Some pets love to chew on new plants. It's not uncommon, but try to prevent that, if at all possible. It certainly can cause GI upset, severe enough that your pet could need to visit the veterinarian if it gets to be severe.
Is there any other plants that are toxic that you probably should be bringing in the house?
Oh, there's so many that you just don't want to have in your home at all. Most plants are going to cause some sort of gastrointestinal upset if your pet chews on it. But the most toxic ones you're probably not going to have inside. They're outside. Ones like sago palm, you're not going to have that inside, but it could be in your yard. But poinsettias are a very common one that you have in your house. Sometimes the Dieffenbachia can be toxic in the sense that it causes a lot of irritation to the mouth and GI upset. So there's some common plants. Lilies can be very common as well. Those can cause toxicity to your pets. So there's several of them that you probably just want to make sure that your pets are not around or in a place that they cannot get to them.
Jamie's asked for some tips. They are driving to Grandma's house, and Grandma said it was okay to bring their pupper.
Yay!
And so what should she do to maybe just get a few items that she needs to be reminded on for that trip?
Yay! Just remember, if this is your first trip with your pet, always contact your family veterinarian. They may be able to get you a prescription medication if you know that your pet has anxiety related to travel, new people, new environments. Please make an appointment with your family veterinarian. They can give you something safe that you can try on your travel. Make sure that you are keeping your pet in a restricted compartment in your car. So you can use a crate, or you can get a harness that attaches to the seatbelt so that your pet is restrained during that car ride. Hopefully there's no accidents, but you certainly don't want to be in a situation where your pet is not safe in that car. Also, make sure that if you know your pet is nervous about car rides, try not to feed them within 2 hours of traveling. That can actually cut down on the nausea that they may have. Some pets will vomit when they get on a car ride, they get motion sick. Don't feed them about 2 hours before. There's also some motion sickness medication that your veterinarian can prescribe for you to help with that car ride. So just a few things. Make sure they're restrained. Make sure that they have medication to keep them calm during travel, and make sure that if they get motion sick, that you don't feed them or talk to your veterinarian about medication.
And what about a plane trip or I guess it's, planes?
Yeah, very, very similar. If you're going on a plane as well, the most important thing is to contact the air travel company before you leave, well before you leave, weeks before, if possible, days, weeks before, because every airline has their own requirements for your pets, and you want to make sure that you're in compliance. The last thing you want is to get to the airport during the holiday season and realize that you don't have the proper crate or the proper documents, and then you miss your flight. So the most important thing is look online, call the airline, make sure that you're in compliance before you arrive at the airport, to make sure that there's no problems.
So Joe wants to know, can pets experience our holiday stress?
Oh, can pets experience our holiday stress? I think it's very likely that our pets can feed off of our stress. So when they see us in activities that are not common, we're running around the house more, we're a little bit uptight, our energy is different, pets can pick up on that and they can sometimes reflect that. So it's important that we stay calm, and that we don't overdo it ourselves, and take care of ourselves as well. If you know that your pet tends to get anxiety when there's a change in their routine, again, this is the time to contact your family veterinarian and discuss with them whether or not your pet needs to have some sort of medical intervention, some medication that can help them ease this time of year. If it's severe, not every pet needs medication. Sometimes they just need reassurance that their life isn't completely different. So maintaining as much of their daily routine as possible is going to be key. So if you can maintain their daily routine, getting up at the same time, taking them on walks at similar times, feeding them at similar times, that will absolutely help. Julie is wondering what, we want them to play with toys. I think she's like, I don't know exactly what this is.
Should I play with that or eat it?
Yeah, exactly. Should she play with that or eat it? So, yes.
Terry and Tiffany just stop by, just say hi, and they appreciate all the good information.
Yay!
And is there something that we should know about our dogs specifically for food that we are already cooking with our meal that would be easier instead of cooking them a separate meal? Is there something that we eat ourselves that they can eat?
Sure. Again, if you're eating, if you're having the turkey, you're having the chicken, you're having the fish, you're having the green beans or sweet potatoes or those things, your pets can eat those safely, I would say in moderation and with not a lot of seasoning. So maybe don't feed them the turkey with all of the trimmings and everything that we would have, but a small piece without the skin or without the seasoning would be fine. So you don't have to necessarily exactly cook them a completely separate meal. You can give them a portion of what you're eating. Just make sure that it's low in fat. It's good for us too, right? Low in fat, low in oils, low in a lot of those spicy seasonings.
So just one last question. If it's Christmas Day afternoon, and you notice that your dog or your cat has a little bit of diarrhea, because maybe Uncle Bob or Aunt Lucy snuck some skin or something to them, what's some immediate, is there something you can give them just to hold off until you can go see a veterinarian?
That's a great question. We get that question a lot. What can I do for my pet at home to maybe get them through some of the rough time before I can see a veterinarian? And, that's a hard one. We certainly don't want you to start to medicate your pet too much. A lot of medications that are for people may not be appropriate for your pet or could cause some reaction. Making sure your pet stays hydrated with water, sometimes using Pedialyte can help keep them hydrated. What we worry about with diarrhea, and particularly if it's something that they ate, is that they can get really dehydrated, just kind of feel crummy from it. So keeping them hydrated is something easy that you can do at home. Plain white rice, plain chicken or turkey breast, again, with no seasoning, no skin, can sometimes be easily digestible and not toxic to them. And that can be something that you can try. But certainly I would contact your family veterinarian and make sure that those things are safe to give to your pet first. Well, we thank you for being with us every Friday this year. It has been very exciting, very fun. We found so many animals, wonderful homes, and we thank you for that, for just supporting us and supporting our pets. Come on by and visit with Julie here and see if she's someone that you would love to bring into your family this holiday season. And if you get a chance, stop by our campus or stop by Neiman Marcus at the Galleria this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where we will have some pets available for adoption. And you can talk to some of our staff and get information about what we do here at the Houston SPCA. We thank you for your support. Please, if you'd like to continue to support us in financial ways or with your time and with your heart, please visit HoustonSPCA.org/donate and be a part of our family. So we're going to spoil Julie here with all these wonderful gifts here. She's been very nice. She's been very nice, not naughty. So these are very cute, 2 gifts that you can get for your pets. Very cute toys. So hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you for joining us again, and we will see you after the new year. I'm your host, Dr. Roberta Westbrook. Thank you for joining us.